Buddham 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 Vande Dhammang 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 Vande Sangham 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 Vande Buddham Dhammam Sangham Vande. Homage to the Buddha, homage to the Dhamma, homage to the Sangha, homage to the Triple Gem. Kinsu yava jara sadhu, kinsu sadhu patithitam, kinsu naranam ratanam, kinsu chorehi duharam, silang yava jara sadhu, sandha sadhu patithitam, Panyanaranam ratanam punyam chorehi duharam. Dear friends in Dhamma, here today we are going to discuss one of the discourses in Buddhism, which comes in Samyutta Nikaya in Sutta Pitaka. It means Jara Sutta. Jara means in Pali that decay or old age. Jara means, Jara word is in Pali language, the Buddha's language. In English, it means decay or old age. And here, there are 4 things are explained, like saddha, confidence, sila, virtue, panya, or wisdom, and merit, punya. These 4 things are explained in this discourse, Jara Sutta. Jara or decay, according to Buddhism, is the messenger, it is a divine messenger, which encourages us to practice Dhamma vigilantly. Decay or Jara. Jara Sutta. And when we see Buddha's message, as we always mentioned, that it has a gradual path, like the ocean. Ocean deepens gradually. Buddha's message also like that. And when we discuss Buddha's message, the Supreme Buddha realized and proclaimed the world reality as it is. Buddha says very clearly, a Buddha appears or not in the world, this message is forever. We respect the Buddha because he himself realized this message in this time, first time. And after he explained this message, other people also can realize by their own wisdom. That is the important thing. First of all, we should have some kind of confidence in what the Buddha taught. When we realize, when we experience the Dhamma, we don't need a saddha or confidence. It is over. For example, if you need to go to a place where you never have been, first of all, you need to trust in advice or what your friend says. After you reach the destination, you don't need to depend on others' advice like that. When we discuss Buddha's message, there are 6 qualities. Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo. Dhamma is well expounded by the Supreme One. Sanditiko, visible results. Akaliko, immediately effective. Ehipassiko, calling one to come and see. Opanayiko, leading onwards. Pachatang Veditabbo, and personally to be realized by the wise. These are the qualities. On the other side, Buddha says, Dhammo have rakkati dhammacharin. He who practices Dhamma is protected by the Dhamma. That is a very special thing. He who practices the Dhamma, he who follows the Dhamma is protected by the Dhamma. That is a very special thing. And also, Buddha's message in short is that all Buddhist doctrines can be included into a same stanza, verse or gatha. Like, Sabba papa sakaranam, not to do evil. Kusala upasampada, practicing good. Sachitta paryodapanam, purifying one's mind. Etang buddhahan sasanam. This is the message of the Buddhas. And here, one day, when Buddha was in Jetavanarama at Jeta's grove in Savasti, one of deities came to Buddha and asked some questions. Say in this stanza, Kinsu yava jara sadhu, kinsu sadhu patititam, kinsu naranang ratanang, kinsu chorehi duharang. He asked 4 questions. One of them is, Kinsu yava jara sadhu. What is good until old age? What is good until old age? And Kinsu sadhu patititam. What is good when established? What is good when established? Kinsu naranang ratanang. What is the precious gem or treasure of humans? Kinsu chorehi duharang. What is hard for thieves to steal? These are the questions. Very interesting questions. And Buddha answered these questions. First of all, Buddha says, Silang yava jara sadhu. Virtue or moral conduct or discipline in our speech and behavior is good until old age. That is very important. Yava in Pali, it is a preposition. Yava means until, not at or in. But unfortunately, some people have misunderstood. They think that we practice virtue at the age of old age, at the end of our life. They have misunderstood. Not at the end of life, not at the old age, but until old age. From where we know this message, until we die, we should practice virtue or moral conduct. Next one, what is good when established? Buddha says, Saddha sadhu patititham. Confidence is good when established. What is the confidence? Confidence means confident in what the Buddha taught and his enlightenment and his noble disciples. We should be confident in Buddha's enlightenment, his message and his noble disciples until we achieve liberation. After we achieve the liberation, we don't need to be confident in them. Then we are said that asaddo akatanyo. Asaddo means confidence is over. That is very important thing. And next, what it says, Kinsu naranang ratanang. What is the precious gem or treasure of humans? Wisdom is the precious gem of humans. Precious? Precious, sorry. Wisdom is the precious gem of humans. Very valuable gem. And then Buddha says, Kinsu chorehi duharang. What is hard for thieves to steal? Merit is hard for thieves to steal. Merit means our spiritual energy cannot be stolen by anyone. It is ours, like our skill. If you can drive, that skill cannot be stolen by anyone. If you have good education, it cannot be stolen by anyone. Like that. If you have done merits, good deeds, wholesome activities, they cannot be stolen by anyone. This is the summary of the stanza. And the very first one, Sila. Sila is very important. Sila means virtue or moral conduct. Discipline in our speech and behavior. And why do we need discipline in our speech and behavior? Even though we were born alone, even though we die alone, we have to live with many people in this society. Therefore, it is very important to protect our words and behavior. That is why Buddha says, when you speak something, when you behave something, you have to think it again and again whether it is correct. That is very important. Then we have no regrets. That is very important. Very first level, we should have discipline in our speech and behavior. Secondly, we should practice 5 precepts. There are 5 things that we have to practice. What they are? Pānātipātā veramani sikkhapadan samadhiyāmi. Abstaining from taking life. Adinnādānā veramani. Abstaining from stealing. Kāmesu miccāchārā veramani. Abstaining from sexual misconduct. Musāvādā veramani. Abstaining from lying or false speech. Surameraya majjapamadatthana veramani. Abstaining from intoxicating drinks and drugs causing heedlessness. This is the foundation of moral conduct in any society. Wherever, if you can practice these things, actually you are appreciated, you are honored, you are respected in that society. These are the human qualities. Without any differences, anyone can practice and anyone can see the results. Buddha says very clearly, if a person can practice these 5 things, he is giving fearlessness to the society. Fearlessness. Abhedana dena. And also, he doesn't give anger to the society. This is the way how to overcome fear and anger. If a person can practice these 5 things, he never gives others fear and anger. And also, others have safety. If someone can practice these 5 things, he can live anywhere without any problems if a person can practice these 5 things in the primary level. And when we, little by little, we can practice sila in deep level. Such as, when we go to concentrate our mind, we should have good discipline in our speech and behavior. If we are unable to control our speech and behavior, then we can't succeed our meditation, concentration. Therefore, before we concentrate our mind, we should have good discipline in our speech and behavior. That is very important. And then in the deeper level, there is a very special sila or virtue that Buddha has explained. What is that? In the mundane level, we practice sila thinking that there are people or things in outside. Because there are people outside, we should have good discipline. Thinking that we have a self-control, discipline. It is good, but still we are in the samsaric circle. We are not away from samsaric circle if we have this understanding. It is not a disturb to go to a blissful life hereafter, but it is disturbed to overcome the samsaric circle. And the special thing in Buddhism that Buddha has explained virtue with the understanding of the dependent origination. Sin, arising and ceasing of our body and mind. It says in Buddhism as Dittincha anupagamma silava dassanena sampanno. Without going to extremes, we should have a good discipline. What is that? When we see arising of five aggregates, when we see something, if we can understand, we can experience something. And also, as soon as the experience arises, immediately it ceases. When we see this arising and ceasing, we don't go to extremes of there is or there isn't. That is a very deep concept in Buddhism. When we experience something, we never go to the extreme of there isn't something. When we know the cessation of experience, we don't go to the extreme of there is something. That is the silver line of all Buddhist doctrines in the supramundane level. Understanding the dependent origination or understanding impermanence. And little by little, this is the way how we go to the deeper level. Especially, Buddha has explained the importance of practicing sila in the mundane level. It is very useful to succeed this life, and also it is very useful to have a blissful life hereafter. Even though we have practiced generosity, it doesn't help us to have a blissful life hereafter if we don't have discipline in our speech and behavior. Sila is the main reason for a blissful life hereafter. And also the second one, Buddha says, Sila is very important. Moral conduct, discipline in our speech and behavior is very useful until our old age, until decay. Not just at the old age, but everywhere, forever. The second one, Kinsu sadhu patittitam. What is good when established? Buddha says, Saddha sadhu patittitam. Saddha is the second quality that we should practice here. What is Saddha? Saddha in Buddhism is that confidence in Buddha's enlightenment, his message, and his noble disciples. These three things are very important. Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, they are interrelated. Confidence in these three things are interrelated. The very important thing is, at the beginning, we are confident in Buddha when we see him. But secondary, we improve our confidence in Buddha listening to his Dhamma, what he says. And Buddha says very clearly, Yo Dhammam Passati, So Mam Passati, Yo Mam Passati, So Dhammam Passati. He who sees the Dhamma sees me. He who sees me sees the Dhamma. What Buddha says? According to Buddhism, all Buddhist doctrines can be included into two pillars, as we always mention. One of them is loving kindness. The second one is wisdom or dependent origination. When we practice loving kindness, thinking thus, may all beings be well, happy and peaceful, gradually our inner peace increases. When we reduce anger, we can see the beauty of our mind. The thing is, anger has stolen our inner peace, our beauty of mind. If we can reduce anger, gradually our happiness blooms. And not only loving kindness, but compassion, sympathetic joy and equanimity too gradually increase. 4 sublime states: Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha. Loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy and equanimity. When we practice this message, we are confident in what the Buddha taught. And also little by little we go to the deeper level. When we practice and when we see the results, our mind gradually purifies. When our mind purifies, then our happiness gradually increases. Our success depends on our happiness. Our happiness depends on reducing greed, anger and delusion. Reducing greed, anger and delusion depends on practicing loving kindness and wisdom. Practicing loving kindness and wisdom depends on practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is the best friend in our life. What is the mindfulness? Living in the present moment, the awareness of our body and mind. Wherever, whenever we are mindful at the moment, nobody, nothing can disturb our peace of mind. And it has a gradual path. Saddha means, especially when we practice loving kindness. Practicing loving kindness is the highest quality or doctrine that we can practice in the mundane level. In the mundane level, with the understanding of the karmic law, Buddha has explained 3 meritorious deeds: dana, sila and bhavana. Generosity, virtue and meditation. Among them, practicing loving kindness is the highest merit that develops our spirituality to the maximum level in the mundane level, not supra-mundane level. Dana is very important, sila is more important, and practicing loving kindness is the highest merit in the mundane level with the understanding of the karmic law. Certainly, when we see the impermanence, according to what the Buddha taught, our eye is impermanent, forms are impermanent, ear is impermanent, sounds are impermanent, nose is impermanent, smell is impermanent, like that. If we can reflect on this reality again and again, when we experience something through our senses, we look at inside. The ordinary people look at outside and they respond outside world. But we who know the Buddha's message look at inside when we experience something. This is the very important thing. And here, whenever we depend on outside, persons or things, it means we depend on suffering. We depend on changing, decay, sickness, death and rebirth. First of all, at the very beginning, we have to overcome negative thoughts, evils, such as practicing 5 precepts, that thinking there is a world outside, and we have a discipline. It is in the first level. But when we go to the deeper level with the understanding of the dependent origination or impermanence, we have nothing to discipline. We have nobody to practice loving kindness. We need to practice loving kindness to overcome anger. When we see the impermanence of our present thought, we don't find a person outside. We have overcome anger. But until we achieve the final liberation, wisdom, we have to practice concentration. We have to practice loving kindness. We have to practice even discipline or virtue. Even we have to practice dana, generosity too. Because it has a gradual path. And if we have this understanding and practice day by day, when we see the results, our confidence in Buddha's enlightenment, his Dhamma and disciples gradually increases. This is the Saddha. Saddha means confidence in Buddha's enlightenment and his Dhamma, his noble disciples. If we have this confidence in a day, we remember these three things, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. Whenever we think about the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, actually it is a meditation technique. Whenever we think about the Buddha, at the moment our mind has no negative thoughts. It is a concentration meditation technique. Whenever think about the Dhamma, it is also a meditation technique, Dhammanupassana. When we contemplate on the qualities of the Sangha, it is also one of the meditation techniques that we can practice to concentrate our mind. And we are not alone. We are always with the Triple. If we have this understanding. We have no fear. We have no loneliness. Saddha is a seed of liberation. Saddha bija. Saddhaya tarati yogam. We swim the river, we cross the river with the Saddha. Saddha bijam, Saddha or confidence is like a seed for the liberation. And next Buddha says, Kinsu naranang ratanang. What is the precious gem for humans? And Panya is the valuable gem. What is the Panya? Panya means understanding the reality in the world. Understanding the world reality as it is. It cannot be divided into two. Panya or Saddha. Panya or Saddha can be divided into two. One of them is understanding the karmic law. Whatever we do with intention, we will have the same results according to our mental condition. If our mind is impure, if we do something with verbally, physically and mentally, we will have evil results, negative results because of polluted mind. If we do something with a pure mind, physically, verbally or mentally, we will have fruitful results because of the purification of mind. This is the first understanding. In this level, Buddha has explained three karmas. In the karmic law, with the understanding of the karmic law, Buddha has proclaimed three karmas, three actions. What they are? Buddha says, Atti bhikkhave kamman sukkhan sukha vipakam. There are some actions which are black, that consequences, black results, evil results. If we do something with impure mind, we will have evil results, black results. Black symbolizes evil in Buddhism. White symbolizes merit of pure mind. In first, Buddha says, there are some actions which are black, that consequences, black results. Next, Buddha says, Atti bhikkhave kamman sukkhan sukha vipakam. There are some actions which are white, that consequences, white results. That is the second one. Thirdly, Buddha says, Atti bhikkhave kamman khanna sukkhan khanna sukha vipakam. There are some actions, yes, which are black and white, that consequences, black and white results. In one time, we do some good deeds, and another time, we practice bad deeds with impure mind. These three things, three karmas, had been realized by the ancient people when Buddha appeared in the world. They had known only these three karmas when Buddha appeared in the world before 2600 years ago. But after Buddha appeared in the world, Buddha realized and proclaimed another karma, another action. That is the very important thing. What is that? Buddha, it belongs to this level. Buddha says, Atti bhikkhave kamman akhanna sukkhan akhanna sukha vipakam. There are some actions, neither black nor white, that consequences, neither black nor white results. That is the very important thing. With the understanding of this level, if somebody can purify his mind, he can go to the highest level in the Brahma realm with the jhana or spiritual energy. But he can never overcome the samsaric circle, because still he thinks that there is something outside, or even there is something inside which is permanent. That is why he is unable to overcome the samsaric journey, even he goes to the Brahma realm, heavenly realm. After Buddha appeared in the world, after he attained enlightenment, Buddha realized very special action that neither nor white results, neither black nor white results. And here we are explaining the Panya or wisdom. Panya means wisdom, and one of them is in Panya, understanding the karmic law, and secondly, understanding the dependent origination. It means when we understand impermanence, when we reflect on impermanence, that mental condition doesn't belong to this level. Whenever you reflect on impermanence, my eye is impermanent, forms are impermanent, nose is impermanent, like that. If you reflect on it again and again as impermanent, that karma, that mental formations don't belong to this level. It belongs to this level, neither black nor white results. It helps us to overcome the samsaric circle little by little. Whenever you reflect on impermanence according to what the Buddha taught correctly, at the moment, even though you haven't achieved the liberation or enlightenment, at the moment you have overcome suffering. little by little, we should try to increase the duration of reflecting on impermanence. Little by little, we try to train our mind to overcome the samsaric circle if we need real liberation. That's the thing Buddha has explained. This thing Buddha says Panya is a valuable gem in our life. Even though we have gems and jewelries, they don't help us to overcome suffering. The more we have gems, the more we have suffering. The more you have gems and jewelries, the more you have fear and anger. But the more you have wisdom, the more you have overcome suffering. This is the situation. That is why we say Panya is a gem, and also the triple gem. Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha are also gems. Because they help us to overcome anger and fear. In the world, a lot of people have fear. Not only in Syria or Middle East, but even in France, in England, even in the USA, a lot of people have fear and anger. If we want to overcome this fear, we have to come to this message. It means, whenever we practice this message, we have no fear, and also other people also have no fear when we are in this message, when we are on this path. That is why this message spreads in the world very easily and fast. And Panya, Buddha always has appreciated, praised the importance of having Panya or wisdom. As much as we have this understanding, we never disturb others, we never kill others. Even though others kill us, we never kill others. That is a very important thing. When some countries, when some suicide people kill others, ordinary people hate them. But he who knows the Dhamma wish that people may be reborn in a place where he has no this misunderstanding with the compassion. And however, Panya is highly praised, appreciated in Buddhism. And here, very special thing, with the understanding of the dependent origination, we find the path. What is the path? In the supramundane level, this is the mundane level path, this is the supramundane level. With the understanding of the karmic law, we find a path. What is that? The main topic in Buddhism, the main advice of Buddhism, Buddha says, Ekayano ayam bhikkhave maggo satthana visuddhya. This is only path for the purification of beings. Soka paridvanan samatikkamaya. For the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, dukkha domanasana attangamaya, for the destruction of pain and grief, jnana sadhigamaya, for the gaining of wisdom, nibbana satchikiriyaya, for the realization of nibbana, the only path that we have. What is that? Practicing mindfulness, fourfold mindfulness. This is the only path for the purification of beings, for the realization of Nibbana, mindfulness. It is not just living in the present moment, but reflecting on impermanence too. Buddha says mindfulness in 3 ways. Mindfulness mindful meditation, and the path to mindful meditation. These three things are interrelated. But they are mindfulness, mindful meditation, and the path to mindful meditation. Mindfulness means the awareness of our body and mind. Mindful meditation means reflecting on impermanence, arising and ceasing of body and mind. The path that leads to meditation, mindful meditation, is that practicing Eightfold Path. Samma Ditti, right understanding, Samma Sankappa, right intention, and Samma Vaca, right speech, Samma Kammanta, right action, Samma Ajiva, right livelihood, and Samma Vayama, right effort, Samma Samadhi, right Samma Sati, right mindfulness, and Samma Samadhi, right concentration. These 8 things, the Noble Eightfold Path, is the path that leads to the mindful meditation. And the more we practice mindfulness, the more we are mindful in our body and mind. It means we are lazy. It doesn't mean that we are lazy. Actually, we are so active. We have keen investigation. We have good awareness. Whatever we do, we behave. And mindfulness and understanding the dependent origination and Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths are interrelated in Buddhism. Mindfulness, understanding the dependent origination of Paticcasamuppada, and Four Noble Truths are interrelated. Actually, this is the essence of Buddhism. This is the heart of Buddhism. You know, in the mundane level, Buddha has explained 3 meritorious deeds. Actually, it can be seen everywhere. In other religions also we can see. They also say that be kind, practice generosity, have a good discipline. They also say us good deeds. But this concept is unique in Buddhism. And the next one, Buddha says, Punyan choreti duharam. Merit is hard for thieves to receive. What are the merits? Merits means, with the understanding of the karmic law, if we do something physically, verbally or mentally as good deeds, those are merits. All of merits, when our mind is pure, Buddha has explained in the discourse of Mangala, a lot of blessings happen in our life. When our mind is pure, automatically good deeds, blessings happen in our life. What they are? Dhanancha Dhammacharyacha Gesam Mangalam. Practicing generosity is the supreme blessing. Dhammacharyacha, living according to Dhamma, is the supreme blessing. Mata Pita Upattana, if someone can take care of his or her parents, is a supreme blessing. Arati Virati Papa, abstaining from evil, is a supreme blessing. Majjapanada Sanyamo, abstaining from intoxicating drinks, is a supreme blessing. But other people think that having some drink is a blessing. No. Buddhism says that abstaining from intoxicating drinks and drugs is a supreme blessing. And again Buddha says, Kalena Dhamma Sakaksha, Kalena Dhamma Savana, listening to Dhamma in the proper time, discussing Dhamma in the proper time is a supreme blessing. Katanyuta, gratitude is a supreme blessing. Like that, there are 38 blessings that Buddha has explained. Those blessings arise in our mind according to our pleasant mental thought. When our mind is pure, automatically these blessings happen. Buddha says very clearly, if someone can keep his mind pure and calm, and if he can do something with a pure mind, physically, verbally or mentally in the morning, that morning is a good morning. I think in the world history, first time Buddha has explained good morning. Sukhubbanha. If a person speaks something with a pure mind in the morning, that morning is a good morning. Not only that, Buddha says, if someone can speak or act with a pure mind in the afternoon, that afternoon is a good afternoon. So much done. Not only that, Buddha says even good evening too. If someone can speak or act something with a pure mind in an evening, that evening is a good evening. Even though we don't say that good morning, good afternoon, good evening, actually, surely, we can make a good morning by practicing this path. All of those good qualities can be included into three meritorious deeds: dana, sila, and bhavana. Generosity, virtue, and meditation. With the understanding of the karmic law. Buddha says, punyam chorehi duharam. Merit cannot be stolen by thief. Whatever we generated in our mind as positive thoughts, that cannot be stolen by anyone. And that is why again and again we have to practice good deeds. As the result of practicing these three meritorious deeds, we can see visible results. What are the visible results by practicing good deeds? We can develop our longevity, good complexion, good health, and many things, many results we can see in this life. Not only that, when we think our life, Buddha says, Punyam sukham jivita sankyam, end of our life, when we think our activities, we are so happy. Even though physically we are very weak, very old age, but mentally we are very happy according to what we did. And in this situation, especially as the result of doing these three things, generosity, morality, and meditation, we will receive a very special benefit, result. What is that? We will meet good friends who explain the Dhamma. That is the highest result in the mundane level. When we meet a good friend, when we associate with good friends who has good qualities and vision, then we also have some qualities. If we haven't those qualities, we will miss them. What are the qualities that we should need when we meet, when we associate with good association? Yes, we should be honest, we should be gently spoken, and we should be wise. Honestly, gently spoken, and wisdom are very essential on this path. If we are not wise, if we are stupid, we are unable to recognize who are the good friends. When we meet some good friends, because physically we are unable to recognize them. If we want to understand a person, what should you do? Huh? Physically, sometimes we can recognize them, good friends. Very, very special thing that a good friend should have is that wisdom. For that, we have to discuss with them. Here, it is very important to understand vision and mission as well. Vision and mission. These both things are very important. Vision without mission is useless. Mission without vision is blind. Both of them are very important. Every person, every institute, every country, every society should have a vision and mission as well. Both of them are very important. What is the Buddhist vision? What is the Buddhist vision? Buddhist vision can be divided into two in this level. One of them is not falling into hell anywhere, anytime. After we die, we should have a guarantee that we never fall into a hell. That is one of our visions. Some people don't believe it. It doesn't matter. But the second one, we should have the path that leads to overcome suffering. How do we overcome suffering? That vision we should have that vision. The very first one, even any complex situation that we die, we never fall into a hell. That's we should have that guarantee. That is better than life insurance. That is more important than American visa. That is the real guarantee, insurance, warranty that we have. And the next one, we should have understanding how suffering arises, how suffering ceases. Whenever we experience something with ignorance, with delusion, that thinking there is something outside permanently, that is the ignorance, delusion. And also, if we think there was something before we experience, that is the delusion. And also, if we think after we experience something remains, that is the delusion. There is something outside. Buddhism never says that there isn't something. There is something outside. But that experience arises at the moment according to our present mental condition. And also the experience is different from person to person. That is the interesting thing. But ordinary people think that if someone can divide this table and if he can research something divide in atom, he may think that every scientist can do the same thing. But it is not true. It is true only at the mundane level. When you go to the supra-mundane level, it is not true. This is the table according to my world, according to my present mental condition. When my mind changes, immediately my senses change. When my senses change, the experience, the external objects immediately change. Now this is a world for my world. When my mind changes, immediately my eye changes, and then this world also changes. This is the nature of the... If we can understand this reality, we don't depend on outside. It doesn't mean that we don't respond to others. We can respond. For example, when you go to a mirror, you can respond to the mirror. You can comb your hair, but you never depend on the shadow or You don't depend on the reflection in the mirror. You can use it, but you don't depend on it. Like that. You can respond to the external world
you don't identify
without attachment and detachment. That is the Buddhist path. And this is the vision. What is the mission? Not only vision that Buddha has explained, but mission too. Mission also can be divided into two. Those are the first level, in the mundane level, as we explained before, Dana Sila Bhavana. Dana Sila Bhavana, generosity, virtue, and meditation, loving kindness. And the second mission is, as we mentioned before, mindfulness. And again, we can say concentration and insight meditation. And again, we can say Sila Samadhi Panya, virtue, concentration, and wisdom. And day by day, we should go forward on this path. And the more we practice this path, the more we reduce attachment, anger, and delusion. The more we practice this path, the more we don't depend on outside. The more we don't depend on outside, the more we have overcome suffering. This is the meaning of this stanza. Okay, a deity asks that, 4 questions. What is good until old age? What is good when established? What is the precious gem of humans? What is hard for thieves to steal? Buddha answers, virtue is good until old age, not at the old age, okay? Don't misunderstand. Until old age, not at old age. Until from here to your end. Whenever you listen to this message, you have to start it. Even though you are 60, you are not late. Even in Buddha's time, there were some disciples, lay people, they became monkhood at the age of 80. Some people became monkhood at the age of 100. There are some ladies like Sona, Bahuputtika, and some Radha monks. They became monkhood at the age of 120. And they realized the Dhamma, they attained enlightenment. Since you are not late. Okay? Be happy. And then Buddha's answers are here. Virtue is good until old age. Confidence is good when established. Wisdom is precious, gem of humans. Merit is hard for thieves to steal. As the result of practicing this path, 5 spiritual faculties gradually increase in our life. What are the 5 spiritual faculties? We always summarize everything in this faculty. What they are? Mindfulness is the center. When we have mindfulness, in here we have confidence or saddha and energy, virya. And here with mindfulness we have concentration, and again here we have wisdom. These 5 things are said in Buddhism as the 5 spiritual faculties. Saddha Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. Confidence in the triple gem, energy not to do evil, and we have energy to practice good. That is energy, strength. And mindfulness, living in the present moment, awareness of our body and mind, and is reflecting on impermanence. And concentration means, with mindfulness, we concentrate our mind in a particular object for a long time. And with mind is concentrated, we reflect on impermanence again and again. These are the real dowry. This is the real dowry, treasure, property in our life. Day by day, we should try to increase these 5 things in our life. When a Buddha meets a person, suddenly that Buddha focuses on these 5 things of that person. Buddha never sees his caste, complexion, or any other thing. When a Buddha meets a person, suddenly Buddha focuses on these 5 things of a person. And okay, thank you so much for your good attention. Yes, have any questions? With details, you can see the handout. Here in page number 3, I have given you 4 things which help us to develop wisdom. There is a very special discourse in Buddhism, Panya Buddhi. The factors that help us to develop wisdom, they are associating good friends, listening to Dhamma, wise reflection, and practice. These are helpful to increase our wisdom. And also, understanding the dependent origination is a very deep concept in Buddhism. Asmin satidam hoti, this being, this comes to be. With the arising of this arises. This not being, this doesn't come to be. With the cessation of this ceases. This is the nature of world, and this is the theory of the dependent origination. And with this understanding, day by day, we should go forward in loving kindness and wisdom. In one side, we should spread our loving kindness to everyone in this world, and we should create a mind that sees everyone in this world like our son or daughter. On the other side, finally, we have to do only thing reflecting on impermanence. When our mind arises, suddenly if you are mindful to reflect on impermanence, then all problems are immediately solved. That is the final thing that we have to do. We should be mindful and wise to reflect on this reality. Okay, thank you so much for your good attention. By the power of all these meritorious deeds, may our departed relatives also receive this spiritual energy. May they enhance their lives, and finally may they also attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's share these merits with our departed relatives reciting the Gatha. Idam me ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātīnaṁ sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. By the power of all these meritorious deeds, may guardian deities and angels also receive this spiritual energy. May they enhance their divine energy. May they keep their eye on you too. May they also attain final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's share these merits with guardian deities and angels too. Akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddhika puññantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu sasanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddhika puññantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanam. Akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddhika puññantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu tvang sada. By the power of all these meritorious deeds, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no problems come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May your all righteous wishes meet with success. Finally, may all of us attain a final bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu. Dukkham pantā ca niddukkha Bhayam pantā ca nibbhayam Sokam pantā ca nissokam Hontu sambe pipanino. May the triple gem bless you.